If you get frustrated with your daily life and you want it back on track, and many things that you are complaining about, that's why I can't change my habit, why I can't do that, why I can't do that, I really wanted to do that, but somehow I'm getting felt every day whenever I'm trying to just get some new habits, whenever I'm trying to just build some new habits. So the most important fact, this is absolutely a good book, there's no doubt on that. And as far as I can remember, the last time I read this book, I think maybe 1 or 2 years ago, I don't remember exactly the real date, because one of my friends suggested me these books, because I was so much interested in psychology. So one of my friends suggested that you can also try this one, because this book is really trending everywhere, so I think you should read this book. And as a book lover, it wouldn't be enough, or it wouldn't be fair for me to just ignore his suggestions about the book. And I couldn't control myself when I just read one chapter of this book, like Atomic Habit by James Clear. The most important point about the Atomic Habits by James Clear is the system. Many people are really trying to change their habits, but what's the most important thing they are missing? They are missing the system. They are not doing these things the way they should have been doing. So let me give an examples. I want to change this bad habit, but how I'm gonna change this bad habit, I don't know. So many people are just making this commitment to themselves, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do that. But I want to ask you a question, bro. How you gonna do that? So when it's come to understand, I'm gonna change my habit, how? Just completely bang, they're completely confused, startled, they do not know what they're talking about. The fact is here, if you want to change your habit, you need to change your system. Again, I'm repeating, there's nothing wrong in you, there's nothing wrong on anyone who ever listening this video. There's nothing wrong on you guys. There's nothing wrong on you, believe me. The most important point is you haven't tried this system yet, and this is the system has been built by Atomic Habits author James Clear. So before, when I read that book, The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg, there are many books in this world that you can find where people are just telling you their own idea about the habits and kind of stuff, and you can really read them. But if you see the book, The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg, and when you try to understand the concepts, what he exactly trying to say in that particular book, The Power of Habit, he just tried to explain you what is habit all about. So if you want to understand habit quite deeply, I don't think so this book would really make you understand what's the science behind the habit. This is completely a revised person, and you can say reanimated versions of the previous book you have read so far related to this topic, habit. So if you if you are just trying to understand what habit about, how does habit exactly work, so I would suggest you to go and try to find out few books where you can understand and clear your basic concepts. That's how we really build a habit, and that's how one of the genius person in the world said once, we do not decide what our life will be, we decide our habit, and our habit decides what our life will be. And this is a very positive point. So habit could be good and bad, everybody knows. It could be good, it could be bad habit in the sense of when you were smoking, you have no control on you do not know how to talk, you become so much infuriated when it's come to have you good conversations with other. When someone's challenge your idea, you become so much frustrated. So in this scenario, we can say these are the bad habits. Good habits, you can really learn anything. You are completely enthusiastic when it's come to learning something. You are completely excited to talk to new people, getting new knowledge, or maybe reading, communication, learning. These are the good habit I can consider first of all. So the few thing that people are missing here in order to understand the habit, and that's what I think James Clear try to understand, try to just make us understand what this all about, the concept, the system, what this system is. And I think that's the reason you have not been trying the system for a long time, and you are getting flunked everywhere whenever you were trying to build your new habit. So let me give the you a basic idea about the system that James Clear talked in this book, and I think nobody has ever talked about this topic before. And I think this video, 10-minute video or 12-minute video, is really gonna change your life. So I think you can give this 12-minute video, and I think you have already given so much time of yours to many multiple videos in YouTube, and I think you haven't satisfied by those videos, and that's why you have clicked on this video. I want to tell you, whatever I'm gonna tell you here, it would be my honest review. It would be my honest review. But my first important point, maybe I would not be saying the same thing that you learned from this book, but my own perspective would be what I have learned from this book so far. So if we really gonna talk about atomic habit, so if you really get frustrated with your daily life and you want it back on track or something look like that, and then I think like, you have decided to read this book, Atomic Habits, which has written by James Clear. And I read this book around years ago, as I mentioned. So I want to tell you something, that do not even skip this, like video even for a second, if you want to understand this book quite well. So first of all, we have to understand like what is habit. Habit means, you can say, an activity. Whatever activity you are doing in the regular basis, that's what we call habit. Example, like when you have built this habit of reading, so when you are reading right now, it cannot be considered as a habit, but when you would be keep doing this, that how it would become habit. Good habit is smoking. If you would smoke today, it won't be considered as a habit until and unless this thing would not become the part of your routine. So that's how we can consider this as your you can say habit. I would suggest you to do not skip even for a second this video. This video is really gonna change your life. So first we're gonna understand the the system which has described by James Clear in this book. So first of all, beforehand, if you try to understand what exactly Charles Duhigg said about to build a new habit. So exactly whenever you are building a new habit, you need to just understand this formula. This formula is just completely perfect. I have also applied these things in my life, and that's how you can build a good habit. So there are the patterns that you have to understand how does exactly habit works and how we can build a good habit. So the pattern is saying there's a 4 way to build habit. The first one is a cue, craving, response and reward, right? I'm repeating again: cue, craving, response and reward. What is cue? Cue means a piece of information that suggests there is a reward to be found, like the smell of cookie or a dark room waiting to light up. And craving means the motivations to change something to get the reward, like tasting a delicious cookie or being able to see it. Response in the sense of whatever thought or action you need to take to get to the reward. That's what we call response. And when it's come to reward, the satisfying feeling you get from the change, along with the lessons on whether to do it again or not, that's what we can consider like reward as well. So let me make you understand in a quiet way. So examples, like when you are sitting there and you got a message in WhatsApp. So when you will get the notification of WhatsApp, it's a cue. What do you meaning by cue? The synonyms of cue means like prompting you to have something. Now this WhatsApp message is prompting you to check who has exactly texted you. Now you're gonna grab that phone. Now you're gonna pick that phone up and gonna check like who texted you exactly. This would be considered as grabbing. Now when it's come to response, so when you see who has texted you, now your brain is saying like, now I'm going to reply that person. And if that person would be a favorite person, so you know what's going to happen now. After that, when you really texted to that person, now you're really gonna get a reward. That's what we call dopamine release. Everything we do, that's we do for dopamine release. If you're riding a bike in the fast, like breakneck speed, definitely there's a rush. There's a rush of dopamine in our brain. There's a rush of the dopamine in our body. That's how we feel happiness, right? We taste the feel of happiness. So when we are eating a piece of cake, there's a dopamine release in our brain, and that's what we are exactly building this concept of, the concept of dopamine release. So that's how this thing exactly work. So cue, craving, response and reward. And now the question would be asking, or the question would raise in your brain, like how to really build like a new habit, how we can really do that. So let me make you understand. There are 4 ways that explained by like Mr. James Clear. He's also explained these things, like how you can really build a good habit. The first important point, he said, make it obvious. What does that mean by make it obvious? That means do not hide your fruits in your fridge. Put them on display front of the center. Examples, like if you want to taste a fruit, right? From tomorrow onwards, you really want to just taste a new fruit. So you do not need to hide that fruit in the fridge. Just try to put that on table. Same thing here. That example, like you really want to read a new book. So do not try to put that book in someone else's room. Try to put that book in your desk, that when you would wake up, it would remind your goal. It would remind you about your vengeance, that you're going to read this book tomorrow, and you had decided yesterday that you would read this book tomorrow morning. So when you make it little bit obvious, visible, vulnerable, that these things are available, reminding you about your own promise that you made to yourself that you're going to build a new habit. So definitely that's how you can really build a perfect habit. So you should try to make it obvious. Second important thing I have just noticed, that is make it attractive. Right? Attractive in the sense of when you have decided to read the books, so try to pick a book of your favorite genre. Try to make it attractive. You have decided to eat fruit, so just try to go with the fruits that you like most. Do not just try to go with the fruits that you don't like or you do not appreciate. So just try to go with the fruits, or just try to go with the things that you like most. So here's the thing that you need to really make it attractive. And the third point is make it easy. Do not create so much dilemma here. Do not create your habit is a problematic where your brain would get tired and say like, no, this is not my cup of tea, because our brain has programmed in the way it always wants to do something in shortcut, in an easy way, that it hasn't it hasn't have to just spend a lot of energy out there behind a certain work. So when you see like, when you're gonna make it easy, means like, example, like if you are not creating, or just try to focusing on fruit that are hard to peel, like bananas, apples are super easy to eat, so for example. So you just need to make it easy for you. Make your task easy. Do not make it complicated for you. Last point, make it satisfying. If you like the fruit you picked, you will love eating it, and feel healthier as a result. So examples like when you are reading a book, the book that you have chosen for yourself, example, just pick this book like Atomic Habit. You have decided to read this book and now you're going to read. So try to make it satisfying, like, okay, now I got satisfied, I learned something from this book. Give your brain a little bit reward, like finally I got satisfied by reading this book. So, and not only in eating fruit or just reading books, you can apply these tricks all kind of good habits like running, working, side project, and spending more time with your family. There are many things can be included in these things. So the first important thing you have to mention that how does exactly habit work, and the second thing how to build new habit, that's I have already mentioned here. You can also have like a habit tracker if you really want to enjoy. In a Play Store you can find many applications, they are allowing you to understand like this all concept. So when it's come to changing our own like bad routines, good routines, or we really want to adopt the new habits, so we should try these books and we should try the things which has been proved by the scientist. So I think this is scientifically proven strategies, and we should all try these things at least once, that we can see in the Atomic Habit by James Clear. So that is today in this video, and I hope you have understood all the concepts about these books of Atomic Habit. So whatever you were doing before, it was not right, and you know this thing, right? And now you have to change your habit. So first you need to focus in the system, that how you are trying to change the habit. That's how you're going to do that. And that's it today in this video, and I hope you liked it. And I think you really understood whether you should read this book or not. Yes, you must read this book. That's it today in this video. Take care of yourselves. Good night.